Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Our topic for today is Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, a purpose-built SaaS architecture. My name is Sarjad Parakat. I am the VP of Engineering for EXM, the Experience Management Solution, which includes service management based out of San Jose, California. Been with Ivanti for about 3 years, but been in the service management space for more than a decade. Shri?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. My name is Shri Panda. I'm a senior director in the cloud operations team. I manage primarily our SRE, cost management, our automation side of fence in the operations side. I have been with Ivanti for over 20 years. I started as a professional services team member, then I moved to a little bit of engineering, and now I am the cloud operations.
Thank you, Shri. So we have a pretty packed agenda today that we are going to cover in the next 35 minutes or so. What we wanted to cover today is about our SaaS first born in the cloud service management platform that is already serving thousands of Ivanti customers today in the cloud and the value it offers to our customers. We are also going to talk about some of the key differentiators that no other vendors in the market offers to customers today. And finally, a continued commitment and investment to enrich the platform and make the platform better by using cutting edge technology to meet our changing customer needs. So what we expect that you will gain from this session, right? Customers who've been with us for a very long time, they knows that we've been in this business for 2+ decades, which is actually a good thing and a bad thing, right? The good thing is we've been serving customers successfully for 2+ decades. We have the right experience and expertise here in this space. The bad thing is, sometimes people use this against us by saying that there's a lot of legacy in the platform. Well, our goal today from this session is to give you a complete insight into the transformation story and our commitment and continued investment to keep our cloud first platform current by adopting the best of the breed technology. Let's dive in. So we're going to start with the key components. As you can see here, everything that we offer as part of our Neurons for ITSM platform is web-based. It's a metadata-driven platform. It is fully in the cloud, highly available, scaled-out architecture. Everything you see here is broken down into components or microservices. And since everything is broken down into components or microservices, we have even the flexibility to do a component level update, such as UI only update or releases without causing any disruption. If you look at the work that we have done in the last 18 to 24 months as part of our convergence story to build use case parity between, say, Chevelle and Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, everything that was delivered as an independent service without disrupting any existing functionality that could cause adverse effect to our existing customers. We were able to deliver all these massive updates only because the platform, what we have built, allows us to do that, and it provides us such flexibility. Now let's talk about the benefit that the platform offers. Shri, you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. So in order to understand the benefits, we have to first understand the pain points. So pain points for any customer who's already invested in the cloud or planning on coming into the cloud would be focused on cost, would be focused on the security concerns, would be concerned on data privacy laws. How do we integrate with existing products that we have in our portfolio? What is the vendor reliability like, and what's the data migration options we have? So let's get into the solutions that we offer. So from a cost perspective, our goal as Ivanti as a company is to keep your costs as low as possible. So we are competitive in the market. We do not want to cut ourselves out of the game by offering you a very high cost solution. So how do we achieve it on our side? We are heavily invested in automation. We try to automate as many things as possible, be it as little things as request fulfillment. So customers who are on this call would be aware of how, when they submit a request, some of those are automated. We do them in few seconds if possible. We also have the capability to not just do request fulfillment automation, we also have data center spin-ups as infrastructure as code. We do that so that we are able to spin up new infrastructure if need be. And later in the slides, we'll talk about a couple of areas where we use that infrastructure as code to spin off, spin up any new servers that we might need. Maintenance, it is a no-brainer that maintenance is key from a security aspect, from everything else. So again, there's zero cost to the customer. We maintain, we keep our servers up to date. We apply patches, security patches on a monthly cadence. Any product updates are also handled by operations team. So there is zero cost there. Zero infrastructure cost as well from for a customer. You have a subscription-based model. You pay the subscription fee, there is no additional infrastructure cost. And in order for us to deliver a better solution, we have to keep in mind the continuous investment that we do in our technology portfolio, in our ability to, we can't control the IaaS infrastructure costs, but we can control how we make best use of them so that the COGS stay the same or less as we can. Now, the second part is security and data privacy. Like I said, for customers thinking of the cloud, that is paramount. That is, there is no way you can ignore security concerns or data privacy laws. We comply with majority of data privacy laws across the globe. We allow you to choose a data center of your liking from among the 9 data centers that we have in the globe that will allow you to maintain the data privacy considerations. For security compliance, we are SOC 2, ISO, FedRAMP, and Privacy Shield GDPR compliant. And we are working with a lot of other compliance requirements across the globe. Australia, Germany, there are different requirements that spring up every day. And even every state within the United States is now starting to come up with their own compliance requirements. So we are working with those, and our CISO is working very hard in getting those taken care of. And before I hand it over to Serja to talk about migration and integrations, the vendor reliability is another key factor to keep us apart from the competition that we have. And customers who have been with us for the last few years have seen that we have made strides of improvement in the way we deliver our service. And over the last 6-8 months, that is a key testament to our achievement, where we have consecutively delivered 5 nines, in some cases 4 nines, but majority of the cases 5 nines of availability across all our platforms. Sujat?
Thank you, Shri. So let me cover the data migration as well as the integration aspect here. When it comes to data migration, we have a list of customers who are on, say, ITSM on-prem, Cherwell customers migrating to Neurons for ITSM, and some of the customers who've been using some of the legacy solutions that we had and moving to ITSM, right? We have a number of accelerated packages that our professional services team offers. When it comes to ITSM on-prem to cloud, it is really a seamless migration option that we have done successfully for hundreds of our customers. When it comes to Cherwell to ITSM migration, we encourage customers to do a fresh start so that they can pick what is needed. They can really implement the use case the best way that is provided by the ITSM platform. Along with it, they don't have to carry all the baggages or issues that they had in the older platform, right? So even with a fresh start, we have tools available to migrate, say, transactional data. We also have migration tool for sort of less complex implementation where we can actually take everything from Cherwell into ITSM. So these are different packages that our services team offers. When it comes to legacy ITSM to Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, there are some attractive accelerator packages that our services team offers. Overall, there are multiple accelerator packages that our services team offers, catering to different customer needs, right? Now, when it comes to integrations, we provide a number of options to support our customers, and you will see that continuous investment that we are making in this area. Why? Because we understand that integration is key for our customers, starting with web services, which we've been offering for a very long time. REST API is another way of integrating with our platform that we have been offering for a very long time. Webhooks is something we recently introduced to our platform, and we have very recently published all our APIs into our Ivanti marketplace that our customers can take advantage of. Trusted Agent, this is something we have built on top of our Neurons platform, specifically to support on-prem integrations. We expect this to eventually replace the need of using VPN today for your on-prem based integration. And finally, we are actively working on launching an iPaaS, integration platform as a service solution, which is a low-code, no-code platform that will allow our customers to use a number of out-of-the-box integration that we wanted to support for our customers based on their need. Plus, you will also have the ability to extend those integration. So this is going to be far, far better option than what some of our competitors offers today. So stay tuned on that. We'll share some updates on that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so talking about security and vulnerability management, we talked in the previous slide about how we make sure that security is paramount, right? So in order to address those, we have periodic security scans. We have scans happening in our CI/CD pipeline, in our pre-prod environment that is owned by the development. And then also a daily scan on our production environment to catch any vulnerabilities. Once those scans happen, there is a triaging that happens on a daily basis where we review the application and the infrastructure scan results and make sure that there is nothing that needs to be addressed immediately. And then there is a remediation process. So once we identify what needs to be done, we either assign it to engineering to fix that as a product bug, or if it is something that is on the operations side, we handle that. And it is done as a scheduled patching cycle every month. You would have seen that on your cloud calendars, where we have our patching every month, where we do the patching of the servers. If there is any emergency there, we do that within 48 hours. That is our goal. And in order to accommodate and make sure that everything is done in the same repetitive process, we have a meticulous change management process in place. We make sure that we have a weekly CAB to review all changes that happen to our production environment. Prior to it even going into a change environment, it first is validated in the CI/CD environment. It is validated in the pre-prod environment, which is owned by development. It is validated in a pilot environment, which is owned by operations. It is validated in the non-prod customer environment with the customers involved. And then finally, it makes to the prod. So there is no way that we would have missed 4 different environments and pushed something into prod. So that is how meticulous we are. And despite all this, we make sure that there is a 24/7, 365 operations center that includes our security operations and our NOC operations to ensure that if there is something that springs up, we have visibility into that and we can spring into action right away. And like I mentioned earlier, we are already certified in these areas at the bottom of the slide, but we are definitely working towards other certifications, and you will see those happen over the next year or so. And again, to recap the benefits, like we said, so we strive to make sure that we are highly available and highly scalable. We make sure that there is no single point of failure. And if there is one, we will make sure that there is enough ability to recover from that immediately. But again, we have tried to make those as redundant as possible. From a data privacy requirement, we have 9 data centers, 3 in EMEA, including UK, 1 in the APAC region, and 5 in the Americas, which includes our FedRAMP for our federal customers. And then the one bullet point on the top, cloud agnostic service. I'm not saying we offer multiple IaaS providers. I'm just saying that our product is so scalable and so cloud agnostic, we can host it on any data center. So if tomorrow our IaaS provider tries to bump up the prices to a point that we cannot sustain, or something happens to them, they go, again, I don't think Azure will go out of business, but then if they do, we have the ability, our product is so cloud agnostic, we can move it to any provider and still offer the same level of service.
That's right. Now, when it comes to providing better customer experience, right? We believe that the best way to provide the best customer experience is by maximizing our service availability, which is the key, which is key to our customer success, right? So keeping that in mind, we have heavily invested in automating the overall service monitoring that helps to give us better insight into usage analytics and proactively detect and prevent issues before our customers finds and reports it. We also have an automated backup solution as well as auto scaling for our key components and built-in disaster recovery. As a matter of fact, I'm proud to report that our service management cloud had 100% uptime in the last 2 quarters, Q2 and Q3 of this year. This means that our investment in this area is really paying off, and we are able to provide the best customer experience possible and delight our customers. Now, let's talk about why Ivanti, and let's try to compare this with some of the leading vendors in the market, right? Especially when it comes to upgrade and maintenance, right? I wanted to give our perspective on why we do better in this area compared to our competitors, right? I've actually worked in other platforms in the past, so I clearly know the pros and cons on these. So when it comes to upgrade, right, we believe that customers are buying a service from us as vendor, and all the maintenance of that service, such as service updates, upgrades, all of that should be our responsibility. And we take that very seriously. So for ITSM, we do automatic upgrade for both content as well as the platform, right? It is fully our responsibility. We own it. We make sure that we do it really well, right? We do it on a quarterly basis. We announce this early so customers know. Our calendars are published way in advance. And when it comes to binary only upgrade, which are more service updates, there is really no downtime at all, right? We also provide customers the flexibility in case if they have some major changes or something going on in their organization and we don't want to touch their tenant from a major update or an upgrade, we provide them some flexibility to accommodate their schedule as well as best as we can, right? And because we are a multi-tenant platform, we take up to 4 hours of maintenance window during a weekend to upgrade up to 200 customers. It's not for one customer, it is up to 200 customers. That's the scale at which we operate our upgrade. Finally, customers are guaranteed to be on the latest and greatest version of the platform. With other vendors, it is either a customer responsibility or a shared responsibility, which means a coordinated effort between vendor and the customer to upgrade the solution. While the focus of this session is all about service management, I want our audience to know that if you're not a service management customer today, but happen to use other Ivanti solution, you might be wondering, such as secure UEM or network security, endpoint security products, might be wondering, is it possible for me to take advantage of this and then get to Ivanti Neurons, get to all the benefits that is offered by Ivanti Neurons for ITSM? The answer is yes. You have the option to consolidate everything to Ivanti by moving to Ivanti's ITSM as well as the line of business solution and provide a seamless and best experience to your users. Now let's talk about multi-tenancy.
Yeah, so everybody in the customer base, I'm assuming, is aware that we are a multi-tenant architecture. And questions do come up from time to time. What do you mean by multi-tenancy? And there are, like Surjat said, we do our best effort to try to work around a customer schedule. If something stops them. They come to us and say, hey, can you move my maintenance window? Unfortunately, sometimes we have to say no. And the reason for that is because it is a multi-tenant architecture. And what is a multi-tenant architecture? It means we have shared infrastructure for supporting multiple customers. So I cannot isolate one customer and say, okay, I will migrate you later. I have to do all of them or I have to do none of them. So that is the way it works, right? So we have shared infrastructure, customers, and it is because it is a web-based application, there is no client. Customers can use any browser to access our application, be it self-service, be it a service desk user, or be it the admin UI. They all come through an SSL port and hit our load balancer. From the load balancer, it goes behind to the server farm. And based on the load that's coming in, if it is an API call, if it is an end user doing something, it then talks to the specific database. So all the data the customer has is stored in a database. And that is what is unique to each customer. Their metadata, their transaction data, their configuration, everything is isolated in the dedicated database. So that is what a multi-tenancy architecture is. Again, this architecture diagram is just to give you a high level 100,000 feet view. It is not the full-blown architecture, but this gives you a little bit of idea as to how we can make economies of scale, making it very cost-effective. So if I have to, and Sarjad will talk about the upcoming improvements we plan to make to this, to make it more cost-effective. Again, to expand on the previous slide, the benefits of a multi-tenancy architecture gives us is complete data isolation. So each customer has all their configuration isolated in their database with no overlap. It makes it so much easier for us to do maintenance and updates because we are updating the infrastructure all at once. So all or none kind of scenarios. Vanity URLs, again, so we support customers that say, hey, my HR organization wants to have a different look and feel, a different skin, a different URL versus my IT organization. Yes, we can support that. You can define it based on the org units, a URL, and each customer has their own experience with the same underlying tenant. The engineering team has been doing great strides in their adoption of technology. But we do not want to force it on you. So there is the feature opt-in at the tenant level. You can decide when you want to opt for that feature and enable that feature within your tenant. Again, tenant management, you have the ability to do some of the tenant management. Operations team manages the underlying, the config database that allows us to map tenants to the database and make sure that the security is maintained. Telemetry, we have been adding a lot of telemetry to the customer tenants, and we are making more improvements. Customer feedback is critical as to things that you would like to see. And then that is why Sarjad and I have teamed up to present this so that we can get feedback on both sides. If there is definitely something that you feel is lacking or missing, we would like to hear from you to make this product more beneficial for you. So we have been talking about auto scaling and resource pooling and stuff. So we can have, so those are again covered, but I'll cover the last 2 points, dedicated databases and dedicated tenants for the pre-prod and prod. We are one of the only, probably, I can't think of any other competitor vendor that does that, where we give a dedicated database for BI. So most of the customers report directly of the prod database. We have found that reporting of the prod database impacts your underlying performance. So we want to make sure that you have the best experience in both environments. So we have a dedicated DB for your BI. And when I come to the data management, I'll talk about how we achieve that. We have dedicated tenants for pre-prod where you make your changes and then push to prod. So these are all benefits that we as Ivanti offer our customer base.
All right, so let's talk about scalability and performance. Scale and performance is one of the key metrics that we always look at to see how well our service is performing. We have a microservices-based architecture with elasticity to do auto scaling, both horizontally as well as vertically for most of our components here. With our monitoring solution, we can proactively identify issues and remediate them automatically and add even additional guardrails to prevent such issues in the future. This is something we do all the time, right? This is a continuous process or an iterative process that we do all the time. If you are identifying an issue and reporting into us, that means there are a number of issues that our monitoring is able to identify before it reaches to the customer and really, proactively remediate those, right? The monitoring has those capability built in. Plus, when we learn something new, we always look at adding additional guardrails. So let's get into our API strategy. I talked briefly about the API strategy in one of the previous slides, but just wanted to re-emphasize. We provide the extensibility to customers with a number of options, such as the REST API, the webhooks. I said we recently introduced webhooks capability into ITSM, and of course the web services, which we've been supporting for quite some time. What you see on the right-hand side of the screen is the API marketplace that we have recently launched, where you can see all of our APIs published with clear documentation. You can try it out, do all kinds of things, right? It is, if you haven't looked at this, do check it out. It will be beneficial. Another one is a trusted agent. Like I said, this is a solution that we are now offering to our customers for any on-prem based integration. This is built on top of our Neurons platform. And if you are one of those customers who are using VPN, this is probably a better option to completely replace VPN and then use the trusted agent based solution. This was something Cherwell used to offer with Cherwell platform. We have built similar capability into ITSM. The iPaaS platform, which is going to support many out-of-the-box integrations and connectors, and the extensibility for you to extend those connectors, that's something we are working on. You will soon hear from us about us launching an iPaaS platform for ITSM. Finally, providing documentation and support for our ITSM developer ecosystem. So we have rich documentation that we offer to our ITSM developer ecosystem.
Okay, on the data management aspect, so we have to understand, we have been talking about architecture. So data management from ITSM, Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, relies on multiple data storage functionality. So we have the RDBMS, which is our primary, and we use SQL Server for that. We use MongoDB for storing our chat correspondence or customers that use the chat functionality within the product. Redis Cache, it is our caching solution. So it'll allow us to cache and make sure that any changes you make in an environment is replicated across all the servers so that you can see those changes quickly. We use Elasticsearch behind the scenes for our log monitoring and stuff like that so that it helps us deliver those functionality. And then again, customers who use a lot of attachments would have seen that the database size has shrunk by a lot because we moved those attachments over to either S3 buckets in AWS or Azure storage to facilitate, gives you the same capability of having attachments, but then it is not counting against you in terms of the data storage that you're consuming. The next aspect is our backup recovery, archiving, and disaster recovery. Again, backup, we have 15 minutes T-log backups. We have daily backups. We have monthly full backups, daily transaction, your incremental backups, and 15 minutes T-log, so that your maximum RPO is 15 minutes in case something does happen. If you have an issue where you push some package and it broke something, we are always there. Like I said, we have a 24/7, 365 NOC that can help you recover very quickly. And on the right side, you will see that there is a data archival and retrieval solution that is now rolled out in our 23.3 environment, where engineering has done a great work to make sure that we can archive all the data in your tenant into an Azure storage blob, but then you do not lose the functionality of querying that or viewing that. You still have the ability to search and query on that data through an archive API service, which is built into the platform. So that is a great way for you to reduce your footprint and make sure that your tenant experience is much better because you have so much less needed data, and all the other data is still there for you to retrieve and search on. Disaster recovery, again, that is one of our key differentiators, where we offer you the same region multi-zone SQL cluster failovers, but then we also have a DR, which is again 15 minutes RPO and a 4-hour RTO in case we need to activate the DR. We support from a SRE side, we support our data migration and promoting changes as needed. And like I've been talking about, we offer a dedicated BI instance for you to report of your tenant. And then again, behind the scenes, the SRE is always there monitoring your integrity of the database and making sure that the performance is optimal and we add indexes as needed. We work with you on the full text indexing and stuff like that. So these are areas that we are focusing on from an operational perspective, and we keep improving on this, and we like your feedback.
Thank you, Sri. So we talked about the investment we have made in the platform to make it better and some of the key outcomes that we have achieved for our customers, right? This does not mean that we have reached the pinnacle. Business landscape is changing. There is ever-changing customer needs. The TAM is expanding, and therefore the opportunity as well. So for us, I would say the sky is the limit, right? So we are committed to continued investment into our platform and give our customers incremental value. When it comes to SaaS, on the tech front, we are updating our framework, and we have more opportunity to break some of our services to smaller modular services or components. We are looking to introduce caching at scale. We are also looking to introduce a better queuing mechanism, sort of modernizing it, and also introducing rate limiting for our APIs, plus some additional guardrails for areas where we see potential problems. On the service excellence side, there are specific use cases where customers reaches out to our SRE team, Shree's team for help. We wanted to automate as many such tasks as possible and make it self-service for our customers, right? We talked about hosting 200 customers in a cluster. Can we double or triple that, right? Something we are looking at so that we can really scale to support many more customers in a cluster, right? Introducing the data archival solution, which we have already done, but you will see some continuous investment in that area where we will do more incremental enhancements. Again, the goal is overall COGS reduction is something we wanted to do to run a healthy business here without compromising the quality of the service. So that we can continue to offer the service with, again, high quality and competitive pricing. On the monitoring side, we do periodic health check using automated utilities. We have recently launched a metadata validator tool that will proactively identify potential problem and send warning to our NOC team. We're also looking to build customer-facing telemetry, something some of our customers have asked for. We have a way to make some of those telemetry available to customers on need basis. But what we are looking at is, can we make it available by default to customers, right? Some of the telemetry that might be useful for customers. So this is something we are looking at as well. Last but not the least, on the supportability side, we want to extend our auto upgrade and update capability that we already offered for ITSM, expand that to ITAM and line of business solution, which we don't do it today. Along with that, we also wanted to make our tenant onboarding and license management experience better for customers. If you have listened to our keynote today from our CPO, Shri, he actually talked about, a platform play, right? So this is as part of that, we are looking at how do we make the onboarding experience better for our customers. So this takes us to the end of the session. With this, thank you for listening. We hope you all enjoyed the session and this is beneficial to you. Just a confidentiality notice that we usually present as part of all the presentation and the usual disclaimer. All the information that we are sharing here are confidential. Would really appreciate if you can take some time to share your feedback on the Gartner Peer Insights. So again, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you all.